My name is Catherine Brown, and this is my presentation of my project for the Creative Capstone class. My project I chose originally was based around altruism and how that affects our own mental health. However, it has since changed upon further research. The title of my project turned out to be Self Care, Helping Others, and also Helping Yourself. I created a journal actually for this project. Um, so my methods, research, and scope. From the beginning of the assignment, I really struggled a little to narrow down what I'd like to do my project on. And it's definitely come a long way since we did the interest web. um, my knowledge, I am a recovering addict. I have almost 9 years clean, and I have a lot of knowledge in that area. I have spoken in many jails, institutions, groups, events about my journey and how I have how I was able to get clean and stay clean as well. However, it's just something like, honestly, I'm tired of talking about after 9 years. So I really wanted to kind of like think outside the box a little bit and not just go to what is easy and I know and would have been like easy for me to do. So I started just brainstorming, like when we did the interest web and things. Um, I ended up settling on the impact of altruistic behavior on mental health outcomes in individuals diagnosed with mental health disorders. Diving into research such as staying motivated during hard times, healing from narcissistic abuse, effects of volunteering psychologically on undergraduate students, how helping others helps you, mental health benefits of simple acts of kindness, etc. Just to name a few from the Noodle tools I used. Those are all like topics that I researched and had in my Noodle tools. My question kind of stemmed from my own experiences and kind of what I needed help in at the time. I'm not only a recovering addict, but I am diagnosed with several mental health disorders. And upon the start of this semester, I was recently out of a narcissistic relationship very abruptly. I literally one day decided I couldn't take it anymore and grabbed what I could of my belongings and my dogs, threw them in my car, and left. I had no money. They had total control over everything. I had no plan, nowhere to go, nothing. But I knew that I couldn't stay there anymore living like that. So during my recovery from that, some things that like I'm very self-aware. So like some things that I took into self-awareness was realizing, because I cut that person off totally, realizing that when I was receiving communication from that person I was in a relationship with, it actually gives me and other people a hit of dopamine in our brain. It releases dopamine, which is basically like a drug our brain produces. It's a feel-good drug. And I noticed that when I was helping others, that I got that same feeling. And so like that got me wondering, like, I wonder if that's like been researched, how helping others affects mental health on the person that's helping. And if that was like a viable question I was onto. So that led me to question, was there science behind helping others and mental health, and could it benefit my mental health in the long run? Along the way, I realized that in fact altruism was the wrong word for my project because of like the whole premise of it. If I'm helping someone else to help my mental health, then that's not altruism. Webster's definition of altruism is unselfish regard or devotion to the welfare of others and behavior by an animal that is not beneficial to or maybe harmful to itself, but that benefits others of its species. So therein lies, it's not really altruism if I'm benefiting my mental health from helping someone. So I kind of had to pivot from that. Not much changed, just really the title of my project changed. I removed the word altruism from my question and from the title of my project and kind of replaced it with helping others. A little fact that I found out in my research, I'll just drop. People who volunteer have about 20% lower risk of depression and report a higher life satisfaction compared to those who do not volunteer. And this has appeared across multiple studies and systematic reviews. I could give you like the list of names of the people who participated, but we'll skip that part. The study, however, was titled Volunteering, a Public Health Intervention, a systematic review and meta-analysis of the health and survival of volunteers, and it was by BMC Public Health. Through the research I did, quite a bit, I can confidently say that yes, helping others can be beneficial for one's mental health. Now, some transdisciplinary connections I made throughout this process. I made quite a few, actually. The most impactful would be the whole learning how to like properly research. That was huge. As you can see, I am what they would call, I can't think of the word. Anyways, I'm just coming back to college. I'm obviously older. Throughout all of my schooling, a long time, I've never really properly learned how to research. Like back when I was younger, it was simply you go to the school library and pull out the encyclopedias, or you could like look through some newspaper reels or something. But like the internet wasn't a thing when I was younger, like high school, doing research. Yeah, I just aged myself. So yeah, that has been the most impactful, is actually learning like a strategic map basically of how to research. Also, the tools that are accessible to students, obviously specifically through FSW in this case, but I'm sure at other colleges and institutions as well, they offer similar, if not the same, tools in order to help research. I was familiar with APA format before because I am a psychology major. However, working on this project, I was really able to hone in on those skills and I'm able to complete that and what info is needed for proper citing now without like going back and forth trying to figure it out if Noodle Tools isn't available to me. And I've already used research skills that I've learned in this class during the semester in another class this semester. In my abnormal psychology class, I had to do a case study, and so I was able to apply using the tools that the school has, as well as all the other things, the processes, to that project as well this semester. And I completed with an A, humble brag, so I guess it worked out good. I conclude that helping others can be beneficial on your own mental health. Now, this is like the most important part of what I'm going to say, quite frankly, in my mind. In this day and age, it is so important to help other people in general. And it just feels good to be a kind person. You can hold the door for someone, use your manners, please and thank you, may I, buying someone's coffee behind you in line, going out of your way to text a friend to say have a good day, or if you know they've been struggling, to check in on them. Just tell them that you're thinking of them. Give someone a thank you note, a little handwritten note, or a note of appreciation. Leave for your coworker. Practice active listening. Instead of listening to reply, listen, and just listen to a person. They don't always need a reply. Of course, monetarily, if you are able to, send a friend that struggles $10 so they can get themselves something to eat today. You know, something so simple that to you is not a big deal. I guarantee you can make a huge impact on someone else's life. So many people are in need of help right now. Have struggles we can't even imagine. So why not help them and help yourself in return, really? Like, it's win-win. So at the beginning of this whole project, I had laid out a whole 30-day journal that I wanted to present, and I just didn't have enough time to put it together. So I present a 7-day journal that can be reused, you know, throughout the month. So I hope that someone can find help in this, and it sparks some thought processes in others, especially this time of year. It's the holiday season. Maybe you can think of easy ways that you can help others out right now that need it. So thank you for listening. I have really enjoyed this class. It's probably one of the best classes I've learned from. And so thank you. I also felt compelled to add, if you or anyone else you know is struggling with addiction, please reach out to me. kbrown at bucks.fsw.edu. Took me a second. I know all kinds of resources. Recovery is possible. So I'm a resource. Best wishes.